What's shakin' chickadees? In the last video, I accidentally said what's chirpin' chickadees, and you all missed out on a funny pun. Um, Today we are going to be redrawing an old piece from about 2017. Just looking at it now, it's very serious, very straight, very not good coloring. It was a time when instead of actually painting a texture in, I was painting, I'd color it and then I'd add a texture later, which I don't recommend because it never looks quite right. So the new drawing here, and I have already posted this because I was online before I recorded this video, a lot more dynamic pose. I'm using the other hand, so you'll see later that I had the sketch for the ring in, which is in the wrong place, mind you. But the sketch is there, but I don't end up drawing it because I forgot the ring was on the other hand. And when I switched the hand, I couldn't draw the ring, which was the whole reason I drew the first image. But whatever, it still turned out to be a good image regardless. So I realized around this time that I didn't really draw hands and faces enough because I tend to not... Okay, at this point I was considering naming this I Drew Hands Better in 2017 than I do now, but I do end up fixing the hand. It literally just took that much. But anyway, I don't draw hands and faces as much because I like drawing the face. So I do showcase, and that's the reason why a lot of my clothing that I draw is skin tight, because I draw a really good body and then really nice form, and then I don't want to cover it with clothes, so I'll have characters that are just naked for no reason. Everyone's got skin tight clothing, and I struggle to draw baggy now. I have been practicing on Emerald because she does wear really, you know, like when you have coveralls, but then you take the top half off, you tie it around your waist. I've been practicing that a lot. It's a good look. I'm chewing gum. I don't know if that's picking up. It's probably a little bit more slobbery than usual, the audio. But I'm sorry if I make any disgusting noises that I can't edit out. I'm chewing gum because I ate and my mouth tasted like stew and I didn't like that. Also, I'm recording in a different area today. I am in my kitchen watching the window in case somebody comes home because I don't like people being home. I know I'm supposed to be online tomorrow, so I'm just trying to wrap that up and make sure I have a video, make sure I have content out tomorrow, because I did procrastinate on this a little bit. Whenever I did have time to record to it, I didn't, because people weren't home, and then I was like, I have other things to do. So I did other things, but I'm doing that now, so no worries. Yep. So now I'm doing the coloring. And if you've watched enough of these videos, you've seen them all before. You know my process, you know that I select everything I'm not going to color, avert the selection, bucket tool, preserve opacity, clipping groups. Great! I am planning on getting a video out soon. I have done tests to see how it would turn out. I liked one of them, I didn't like the other one, of drawing without using my crutches. So I did a really good Zenitsu, but I didn't do the Inosuke I didn't post because I didn't like it, which sucks because Inosuke is my fave. But I do have a Tanjiro I have a sketch for that I have to do, so I might do that one, and I think it might be live. I don't know yet. I haven't decided the semantics of that. But I'm not using my crutches, so I'm not using preserve opacity, I'm not using clipping groups, and I am not using dark line art. The only black in the two pieces is Zenitsu's eyes, and that was more of a comical effect, so you let it slide. You let some things slide for artistic purposes. Still working out how I'm gonna do collaborations. I'd need to meet up in person to do anything, and nobody wants to come to my place for a good reason. It is hell out here. No Wi-Fi, no TV. We have radio, no cell service, no sanity. So, and then you hear lately, like, I think the thing about this whole situation is people are like, oh, I'm gonna go get outside more, and all I hear all day is snowmobiles and four-wheelers. Depending on the day, I think the snow is pretty much gone now. You can't do snowmobiling, but four-wheelers now. And side-by-sides and all the other various machinery that happens in La La Land. Hell. I was using the shiny eyelid thing, you know, like back in the day everyone had the shiny eyelids. I didn't like it. Side. I took a lot of this. A lot of this is just eyeshadow. Coloring eyeshadow, because I don't do that enough either. And I didn't do it primarily because it was hard to do in my old art style where they didn't have eyelids, but now I have very prominent eyelids, so I can do that. I can have so much fun with eyeshadow. And I did put eyeshadow on the Harley Quinn I drew a couple months ago when I watched Birds of Prey. But I didn't, I don't do much of it. And especially with my characters, like they're all color-coded pretty much. All the main characters are color-coded. This particular one I cannot talk about because you know, she's a novel character, but she's a spoiler, and I don't, calling her by any one of her three names would be a spoiler. And well, calling her Rhea is not a spoiler because I don't think she's mentioned. That's not her name for a long period of time. It's not her name most of the time. It's just her birth name, not her nickname. But that's probably a spoiler too. But the other thing is, there's no publishers in Canada that take what I write, and I don't really want to go overseas with it. Self-publishing is not something I can do unless I have a lot of support for it. And how do you get support for something that you don't want to talk about, you know? Because I have little issues with like people stealing my ideas. And I feel like it's gonna happen, but at the end of the day, no idea is original anymore. And also, I did send my novel to somebody who hates me. So God knows what she's doing with that. She didn't hate me at the time, or maybe she did, but I didn't pick up on it. I'm bad at having friends, apparently. Yeah. So another thing, she doesn't wear that sweater anymore. She wears like a vest in her official art that I draw of her. Well, all that art I draw is technically official, but I don't draw her in sweaters anymore. Not that said, she probably does wear sweaters, but I like drawing her in that little blue vest with the black tights and the big old boots on her. But I drew in that time period. Most of my early drawing career, everyone wore hoodies, t-shirts, or collared shirts. Now it's not so much t-shirts, a lot of collared shirts with the sleeves rolled up, vests, oh god, a lot of high collared jackets and woof. Yeah. So when I'm coloring black, there's a couple ways to do black. Uh, one being using gray, color it gray, and then put the black in and blend it like I did, or you could use the gray, then color it completely black with the preserve opacity, and then color the highlights and blend them in enough that you see the liner. Don't blend the highlights on her hair. It makes a huge difference. I try not to blend rim lights and lighting too much because sometimes it just doesn't show if you blend it too much. And now we just have the eyebrows to do. I have to fix that apparently. I've watched this video a few times because I didn't really know what I was going to talk about. So, I've noticed a lot of mistakes while I go through this. So now I'm merging all the layers. Never gonna get those back. Copy paste. And the accent I use is white to match the original drawing. I used white a lot because my original art was very thin. And I'm pulling the original colors from the background into the new piece. So these pieces are now the same piece. They're part of the same piece. And I really like doing that because now you can see them side by side. And I'm adding texture. And seeing them side by side really shows the difference more than flipping through images. So anyway, here's the drawing. I'm really happy about it. Follow me on Instagram and Shick.Xander for my art. Twitter, Shickxander. Buy stuff off Redbubble, Shickxander. And don't eat random litter you find on the streets. Thank you. Goodbye.